Hey, you guys, Lady ReShell here, author of Take Charge of Cancer, founder of Warriors Talk, where we empower individuals into action that leads to a healthier lifestyle. This is day 7 of 31 days, 31 facts in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And tonight on day 7, we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts when someone is fighting cancer. So join me. All right, we are on day 7. So, the do's and don'ts when someone is fighting cancer. So, we're going to start off with the don'ts, right? Let's just get these negative things out of the way so that we can focus on something positive. So, the first thing that you do not want to say to someone who is fighting cancer is, I know how you feel. Unless you have personally went through cancer, you do not. I don't care if you had a diabetes diagnosis, high blood pressure, whatever, lupus, you do not know how a person feels that has been diagnosed with cancer. So restrain yourself from saying it to that person, right? You don't want to do that because unless you have had a cancer diagnosis, you absolutely do not know how they feel. And when they hear from someone who has not been through cancer, it's offensive. Number 2, something you don't want to do is you don't want to treat them like they sick, right? You don't want to always treat them like that because they're not going to always be in that state. They're going to go through chemo. They're going to be out of chemo. They're going to be well and they're going to be healing. And the last thing they need is for someone to continuously treat them like they sick. I don't like when someone sees me and they know that I've been through a cancer diagnosis and they be like, hey, are you okay? How are you doing? Like, don't talk to me like that because I'm not sick. And I don't appreciate it. It makes me feel like, you look at me like I'm timid, like I'm just less than. No, if you want to know how I'm doing, then ask me, how are you today? How are you feeling? But don't put on the little voice like, something is like wrong with me. I've been through cancer, I've been through the treatment, and now I'm fine. So just make sure you watch your voice when you're talking to a person, watch your facial expressions, because believe me, we observe it and we notice it. And then we try to avoid those people. We're not going to allow you in our space because it's negative. So the third thing that you don't want to do when somebody's fighting cancer is don't ignore the facts about their sickness, right? Don't like downplay the facts about their sickness. Don't ignore it. If they tell you that this is what they're going through, then believe what they say. Although, because a lot of times people don't look like what they're going through. And just because they don't look like what they're going through, it doesn't mean that they're not going through it. So don't just ignore, if they say, oh, I'm fatigued and I don't feel like going anywhere, but you're calling them to my girl, you want to go out dancing? We about to go dancing. Girl, you want to go ride a horse? And she done already told you that she's fatigued, that the chemo is making her fatigue and that she doesn't have the strength. But you study calling her or him, trying to invite them out to these places when you know that they don't have the energy to do it. So don't do that. The fourth thing that you don't want to do is don't ignore that person or stay away from them. And I know people do this because I'm going to tell you, I've done it. Don't do it because they notice, first of all, they know that you're staying away from them. They know that you're ignoring them. If you see them, you see a person when you're sick and they come and they see you, they be like, hey girl, how you doing? Girl, I gotta go, over here and do such. Then you see them not even doing what they said they were going to do. And it's like, don't do that. Just be kind, be gentle with them, but don't try to ignore them and don't, make it seem like they're invisible and they're not there. Like it's rude. It's very rude. And they have cancer. You don't have to treat them like they're a criminal, like they stole something, or like they have a disease that's contagious. Because cancer is not contagious, so you don't have to treat them as such. So the next thing you do not want to do when someone is fighting cancer is, please do not make comparison with somebody else's situation. Just because your aunt had cancer and she took chemo and her hair fell out and then she ended up dying, I don't want to hear those stories, okay? Don't come tell a person that's fighting cancer about your dead relatives, because they don't want to hear it. Keep it to yourself, okay? Keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear it. We want to hear success stories. We want to hear stories of victories. We already know that people die from cancer. We know that, but we don't want to hear you say it. We live it every day, and we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear any stories that, oh, well, if you just take, smoke marijuana, smoke some cannabis, and, you'll be all right. Go ahead and get this fruit, girl. Just be a fruit diet. And, just, girl, stay away from that sugar, because every time you eat sugar, it is, them cancer cells are growing. Don't do that. It's rude. Don't do it. Stop being so inconsiderate, thinking that you're being helpful, and you're not being helpful, because number one, you're not an expert. You're not an expert at it. You haven't researched it. You haven't spent any time in a laboratory or in any books. So stop offering advice. The sixth thing that you don't want to do when somebody's fighting cancer is, don't take things personally. Because they going through chemo, they're having a hard time as it is, dealing with this disease. And they may say something, and they may be short with you, because they at the moment, they not taking no mess. They are not putting up with any crap. So if you call them and they say, yeah, I don't feel like it, not today, don't take it personally. They're healing, they're fighting, they're trying to get well. And stop telling them, girl, if you just stay positive, you can beat this. Positive ain't never cured nobody, okay? Yeah, it's great to be positive about it, but it has never cured anybody. People that have been positive still died. So stop doing that. Stop telling people to keep a positive attitude, girl. And you'll make it. Positivity does not kill you. Yes, it's great to be positive. It's great to put your mind in a state of positivity, but it's not a cure for cancer. Kenya says, when you get diagnosed with cancer, it's like getting punched. Oh, you will forever be changed due to the unknown. This is so true. I read this article, Kenya, where this person said, once you've been diagnosed with cancer, it feels like somebody has this gun in the back of your head, right? You can feel the trigger in the back of your head, but you just don't know when they're going to pull it, right? So that means you had the diagnosis. You don't know when that cancer is going to come back. You don't know when the cancer is going to have when you're going to have these side effects from the cancer. So that gun, the barrel of that gun is always on the back of your neck. And sometimes you forget that it's there. You live in life and you forget that some days, the barrel pushes a little harder to let you know, yep, I'm still here. I'm still here. So that was a good point, Kenya, a good point. The seventh thing you don't want to do to somebody who is dealing with cancer is, if you sick, don't go around them while you sick. Don't go around them sneezing and coughing, oh, I just wanted to see you. Call me on the phone, FaceTime me. Don't come over here while somebody is sick, because their immune system is already down. They're already fighting. The last thing they need is your nasty germs. So stay home. Call me, write me a letter, send me a card. But don't come over here. Send me some flowers. Don't stop making people sick. Don't do it. Stop telling people that have breast cancer and they get reconstructive surgery that they get a free boob job. Reconstructive surgery is not the same thing as a boob job. It's not the same. The boob job is voluntarily. The reconstructive is not. It's not. It's not the same. Nobody gutted out your chest tissues, your breast tissues, so that they can put some phony ones in there, or even cut some fat off your body to put it in there. No. Women do that so that they can have some sort of normalcy in their life. So they're not, this is not, if they had a choice, I'm sure they would choose to keep their breasts and not get breast cancer. They're not making a choice to have reconstructive surgery because they want to. So a boob job is not the same thing. So stop saying that. It's rude. So, and stop saying everything happens for a reason. Girl, everything happens for a reason. Let us figure out what that reason is. We don't need you to tell us that. We don't need to hear that from you. Right? Like why would a cancer happen for a reason? What are you getting at by that? Like don't say that. Let me and God figure out what this reason is. But I don't need you to tell me that. Because a lot of, okay, I ain't gonna even go there. All right, number 10. It's just hair. Girl, your hair falling out. Girl, it's just hair. Okay, then you go in the bathroom and cut your hair off and walk around with your hair bald until it grows back. Right? No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So yeah, it's just hair, but it's my hair. And I have been nourishing this hair for years and decades, and I don't want to cut it off. Well, guess what? I cut it off and that you see is back. So stop saying, girl, it's just hair. Stop saying that. If you have not been through a cancer diagnosis, stop being so insensitive and just opening up your mouth. If you don't know what to say, then be quiet. Don't say anything. All right, so let's get to the good stuff. So these are the things that you should say, right? Let me see what Kenya said. Kenya says, I don't understand why we can't file. I'm sorry. Kenya said, I don't understand why we can't file a police report when we find out that we have cancer because we've been violated. Girl, if we can lock them up and throw away the key, girl, trust me, I'll be right there with you filing a report. Hilarious. So we're gonna talk about some dudes, okay? So make sure y'all listening with these dudes. If you know somebody that's fighting cancer, the best thing that you can do is just be there. And if you don't know what to say, just tell them, I don't even know what to say. Just let them know I'm praying for you. I'm thinking about you. You're on my mind. But just being present is, that is a good thing, because believe me, they notice the ones who ain't coming around. They notice the ones who was ignoring them. They notice the ones. And then this is why we distance ourselves from certain people when we going through a diagnosis, because we know, who really has our best interest at heart and who's really genuine with us. So just being there, and sometimes if they don't want to be bothered, then okay, just, step back and give them their space, but just be there, just be present. The second thing you can do is just please act normal. If you guys were friends and y'all will always go shopping, or you guys will always go and get your nails or your hair done together, then check in with that person and say, hey, I'm on my way to get my nails done, girl. You coming? And if they say yes, then good. If they say, I don't feel like it today, all right. And then maybe if they don't feel like it today, say, well, do you want to stay in and catch a movie? Then we don't have to go get our nails done. We can stay in and watch a movie, because they may not even have the strength to do it. But just, you don't be, girl, you always tired. Man, we can't never do nothing. I'd be glad when you done with this cancer. Trust me, people are so insensitive. So 3, please visit. But if you do, call before you visit. And like I said, don't get upset if they don't feel like being bothered, because they may have had chemo the day before, and their bodies need time to adjust and flush that chemo out before the next round of chemo. So don't feel like, oh, they don't want to be bothered with me, or they acting funny, because they not. It's just that, they dealing with this life-altering disease that's trying to take them out. So they have to sometimes preserve the strength that they have just to go back and get the next round of chemo, or for saving their strength up for surgery. So it's just, they're going to have good days. They're going to have bad days. So just recognize that they will have bad days, and that where they don't feel like doing anything, but don't hold it against them. So the 4th thing you can do is, when you do offer help, make sure it's concrete and it's specific. I will take you to the grocery store. I will pick up the kids from school. I will pick up the cleaners. I will order some DoorDash. I will take you to your next chemo appointment. Make it concrete and follow through. Don't tell them you're going to do something and you're not going to do it, because they're going to be counting on you, because they probably already turned somebody else away because you said you were going to do it. So if you say you're going to do it, then do it. just, a lot of times we say, how can I help? But don't, sometimes you don't want to say, how can you help? Just sometimes offer a couple of things, and then they'll choose one of them, how you can best serve them. Or let me see what Kenya said. Kenya says, to me, the C is like, oh, a entanglement is definitely a situation that I didn't ask for, but was forced upon me with no warning. Girl, just popped up out of nowhere. And cancer is like that. It's like, you living your life, and we always say it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care if you're getting ready to get married, start college, even if you're pregnant. Cancer does not care. It's just so rude. It's just it'll violate you in the worst way and at the worst time. So I totally agree with you. And there sometimes there is absolutely no warning, and you just start looking at yourself like, Lord, what's gonna happen? you know, and that's in the back of our mind. It's in the back of our minds. So, you can run errands, you can go to the grocery store, like do things for them that will take the pressure off of them, right? You want to make sure that if you're going to do something, again, make sure you do it. Don't tell them that you're going to do it and you don't. So the fifth thing that you can do for someone who's fighting cancer is to help the person who's actually taking directly care of them, the caregiver, because they really gonna be tired. They really gonna break down, but they don't want to take a break from that person because they feel like if they do that, something may happen to them. So try to offer a lot of help to the person that's taking direct care of them. Just make sure you like, hey, do you need some help? I'll go run this errand for you, or I'll sit with them while you go run the errand, just so they can get out and get some breathing room, some exercise, because they're not gonna want to leave that person. So I would encourage you to do that. Kenya said it's like having a bad toothache that would never go away and you would never recover from it. Girl, we all know that a toothache, I always say a toothache is worse than having a baby. Like I say I would rather have a baby than to have a toothache, because them toothaches do not play. I mean, that pressure just comes and it's just on you. It's a pain like no other. The toothache. That was a good comparison right there. A good comparison. What we at Number 6, these are things that you do want to do when someone's dealing with cancer, is to let them talk about the sickness if they want to. Don't, soon as you see them, girl, what stage is your cancer? What grade is it? How big is the cancer, girl? Don't do that. Don't. Girl, let me see your scars. Take off your scarf. Let me see your bald head. Don't do that. Don't do that. If they want to talk about it, then let them talk about it. Let them go. If they want to get detailed, let them get detailed. But you don't do that. Don't bring up the conversation like that. It's rude. Allow them to do it. You could tell them, hey, if you want to talk about the cancer, I'm here. We could talk about it as much as you want to talk about, or as less as you want to talk about. Like, leave the door open for them to want to talk, or want to open up for you. A lot of times we don't leave that, and people, they won't say nothing around you. They will shut up around you. Kenya said it's called ignorance. People can be so ignorant, and I don't think they trying to do it purposely, but it's just like, but you said it. Like, why? I had this person, and I know this person is a sweet person, and she really didn't. I don't think she really knew that it was kind of offensive, but she was like, well, the best kind of cancer to get is breast. I heard the best kind of cancer to get is breast cancer. No, no cancer is the best cancer to get. No cancer. No, that doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make me feel good, because guess what? People are still dying from breast cancer. So that doesn't make me feel good. So, all right. So we're on number 7. So number 7 is you can create an online calendar for that person. So one person, I would suggest it don't be the caregiver, because the caregiver is going to be busy doing a lot of other things. So if one of the other friends or family members can step up and they can set up a calendar for the person, it could be online. They have online tools right now where you can set up a calendar and you can give people the information to go to the calendar and sign up for different things that you can do for that person that's going through cancer. That way it's not all on one person, because sometimes it's all on one person. So Tell people. You can set, like I said before, you can set up a Facebook page, and it could be a private Facebook page to where you can make all of your announcements on that direct page. Whenever something is happening with you, whatever you want them to do, you can put it on that page. Or you can do an email to where you're emailing everybody, or you could do a mass text, however you want to do it, to where you're not repeating the information to everybody all the time. And you designated one person to get that information out to everybody, and then everybody can sign up online as to how they can help you. Kenya said exactly. Fighting with the unknown is draining. It's so draining, Kenya. It's so draining. You could be having a good day, and then all of a sudden, these thoughts come in your head, and it's just like, Lord, I'm gonna need you to take this. I'm gonna need you to take this away. So I totally agree. That unknown that's just lurking. It's just lurking there. But cancer ain't no joke, y'all. It's really is no joke. It's no joke. Number 8 is I kind of mentioned this, I think, earlier. Let them lead the conversation. Let them, if you see them and they say, hey, you're like, hey girl, how you doing? Let them lead it. Let them say whatever it is that they want to say. We have to remember when we're dealing with someone with cancer that, because you don't know how they feel, then, just have empathy for them. Just acknowledge their feelings. Acknowledge that, okay, I acknowledge that you're feeling this way, and I'm sorry that you're feeling this way. I'm sorry that you're going through this, but lead with love and lead with compassion when you're dealing with them, because that battle of cancer that they're fighting, I'm telling you, it's that demon is not a good one. We're treating the physical, but they never really, it should be treated, the physical and the mental should be treated at the same time, but a lot of times they don't. They're so in a rush to get that physical, and that mental is just going crazy when when you're starting, soon as they tell you you have a cancer diagnosis, that counselor should be right there with you, setting up appointments for you to come in. Every time you have chemo, you should have a counseling appointment after that, or maybe the week after that, in between your chemo sessions. But you should not be going through treatment, and not having somebody to talk to. And I'm not talking about a support group, because a support group is great when you're going through cancer. It's great for you to be able to get around some individuals who are going through the same thing that you are going through, and who can identify with what you're going through. But to be able to go to a counselor and just get everything out and not be judged, and nobody, just for somebody to hear you. Sometimes you don't really want anybody to say anything back. You just want to get it out. Kenya says, once you get diagnosed, you are forever changed mentally and physically. And Kenya, I totally agree. I totally agree with that. Like, your thought process is just different. You take less nonsense, because you know how precious time is. You know how, your life was almost just snatched. So you're not gonna put up with stuff like, just little things. And then you appreciate life more. You appreciate the little things more. And not to say you didn't do it before you had it, but it's just, I think you notice them more when you're going through. All right, you guys, I have just given you the do's and don'ts as it relates to someone who's fighting cancer. And I appreciate everybody who tuned in, and I appreciate Kenya with her input. I can't do the show by myself, so I appreciate the input. Be kind to someone who is going through cancer, someone who is fighting for their life. I'm asking that you be kind. Watch what you say, and if you don't know what to say, don't say anything. Again, you can always buy a card. You can always send them. I don't even want to say send an email, because you may say something. They have stores in the car, and they have cards in the store for people who are going through cancer. I saw it the other day, and you could just get them a card. You're welcome, Kenya. Thank you so much for all that you do for individuals who are fighting cancer, and spreading the awareness, and just even catering to the community as a whole, Kenya. So I appreciate you. You guys, I'm going to ask that you join me tomorrow. Is day 8 for your 31 days, 31 facts as it relates to breast cancer awareness. Again, this is Lady ReShell, founder of Warriors Talk, where we empower individuals to take action that leads to a healthy lifestyle, and also the author of Take Charge of Cancer. Join me tomorrow night for day 8.